Hi, welcome to the Small Shed. This Saturday I'm looking at projects from the past, the present and the future, and that's coming up next. Now, inevitably when you're knocking out a couple of videos a week, there are bits and pieces that get left behind and things crop up that you didn't expect to happen after you've put a video out. And so I thought I'd just spend a few minutes catching up on some of the Saturday things that have been done that have produced some sort of a result later on that either was unexpected or just a follow-up. Then I thought I'd have a quick chat about what's in the process at the moment and is causing some problems in terms of production of videos, and then a few bits and pieces for the future. Now, just going back very early on in the videos on the Saturday, you may remember I did some wall sections for some friends at the Model Railway Club that were a little bit deficient in the brickwork department, so I milled it off, put some new brickwork on and then recast them. That resulted in a very nice building being made by one of my friends, and what I didn't realise was that he entered it into the club annual competition this year, and it got first prize in the section for buildings. So he very kindly credited myself with some part in that, which I wasn't really expecting, and the guy that did the 3D printing as well should also have been included in that. So I think the three of us have produced a result anyway, though, so that was sort of satisfying to know. The little seed tray I did a couple of weeks ago down in Weston-super-Mare that I just put together very quickly because the boys wanted to just put some seeds in that they'd had for Christmas, and that was in, I think, the February when we got the very nice weather, and I've just been down a week or so ago and seen that that is working well and the seeds are growing nicely in there, so that's coming along well. I've got a couple of jobs that I've been given for the future down there. There's an air conditioning unit on the recording studio that's part of the complex of chalets and buildings that my son-in-law runs down there, and it's getting a bit rusty and poorly and it needs some sort of a cover over it, so I don't quite know how I'm going to deal with that. But I think the essential idea was to make it look pretty, which is going to be a bit of a problem, but we'll see how we get on with that one. So that's a future job. I've also got an outdoor play board that I've been presented with a Pinterest photograph for, that's essentially a piece of clear acrylic, or I'll probably use polycarbonate because it's pretty much unbreakable, on a frame that they can daub paint and things all over. It'll be outdoors, so it'll need some sort of a framework and support for it. So that's another little Saturday job that should only take a minute. And then slightly more involved, my grandson's bedroom has just been redecorated and is all in the theme of London, and they want a bus bunk bed. So we had a quick look at the pictures for those, and whilst I quite like some of the more simple ones, I was rather taken with the, I think they're about £3,000 or £4,000 Routemaster bus bunk beds, but I've decided that I'd like to at least have a crack at that. I've got the drawings for the bus, and I've got a rough idea of what they look like when they're done professionally, so we'll see what sort of a bodge we can make of that. So that will be another future one, for a 2 or 3 week build, I'm guessing, on that one, because it's quite an involved job. Now, that brings on to the subject of the current workload. I've got some benches on the go, some more benches which are for a first school by our men in sheds, and that gives a bit of a problem really, in that I tend to do these things once a week when I'm at the men in sheds group, and it can take 4 or 5 weeks or more to do something like that, and it will produce 2 or 3 videos. But what that effectively means is you've got a period of a month and a half when you're working on something that you can't even start putting the videos out because you're nowhere near finished. And so therefore you're having to make content well in advance to cover those spells when you're working on long-term projects. And then we've just had a month when I've been ill, and that pretty much drained any spare capacity that I'd got for videos that were done but not finished. I just finished a couple of them off and put out while I was ill. And at the end of the year I've got an even bigger problem, so therefore at the moment I'm making videos at the moment for around Christmas time. We're hoping to go to New Zealand in November for a month, and that will bring us back into England in beginning of December, and then within a fortnight we'll be down at my daughter's, I suspect, at Christmas for another fortnight or so. So it means that all of those videos over that period, together with a series that I want to do over Christmas as well, have all got to be made well in advance. So it's getting a bit hectic at the moment. There's probably about 7 or 8 projects on the go at the moment, and it's becoming quite difficult to sort of focus on getting any one of them finished, but we're working our way through it. And finally, when I was down at Western again, I think it was that period in February when we had fantastic weather, I popped out to catch up at long last with the Somerset Recycling Centre that is down in Weston-super-Mare, that basically is a wood recycling outfit. So I went to go and have a look at them and see how they performed and what they'd got in stock. The unit is in Winterstoke Road, I think, Weston-super-Mare. It's quite a big unit, and it's just off the one of the main roads into Weston, so it's pretty easy to find. I put it in the sat nav and it just took me straight in there. And as I say, there's just a large industrial unit. There's 1 or 2 other social enterprise type things in there by the look of it. But I was more interested in seeing what there was in the wood department. They also make a lot of things to sell, and as you go in on the left there's like a small showroom that's got items that they've made like benches and things like that, and then you can go into the main area where there is a pretty good selection of timber, although it has to be said it is mainly softwoods and joists, plywood, that sort of thing, but it's reasonably priced, and it's the sort of thing that you can go and have a quiet look round and get exactly what you want, pallet wood slats and things. To me it seemed relatively expensive, but that's purely and simply because I'm so used to getting pretty much free wood. At Menin Sheds we get given an awful lot of stuff, and I must admit I cringed when I saw the barrels, because they were priced at what I thought was a pretty huge amount of money. 77.5 quid for a barrel seemed a lot to me. I have subsequently had a look online and it's perfectly reasonable. It's just that I'm totally out of touch. There's live edge timber there as well, slabs, that sort of thing. But I suspect that most of the good hardwoods and the like are being used by them in their own workshops, for making things, which is perfectly legitimate reason for doing it, because they can probably get a far better increase in value on a hardwood item than the softwood stuff. So as I say, it's pretty much softwood, logs, large chunks of timber, but you know, it's worth a visit. So having done that, I just took the tortuous route back to where I stay down in Weston, well, just outside Weston. It's Sand Bay, and it's pretty torrid route back if you're not careful. The road is pretty hairy, but I always like to go back along the seafront just to catch up with the sea. It's very, very nice to be down there. We stay at my daughter's, that's literally a 5-minute walk from the beach. So on a day like this, which was glorious weather, it just made it well worth a day out. As I say, on the whole, it's not somewhere I was hoping to find more hardwoods at the recycling place, but there wasn't a huge amount there, but it's well worth a visit if you're in the area. So there's plenty of content coming up, I hope, pretty varied as well on the Saturday ones, and I hope they'll be of interest to you. Anybody that's watching not subscribed, please subscribe. It all helps the channel, and if you want to hit the notification bell, that will let you know when the videos are coming out. And I look forward to seeing you next week when we'll have something different. I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.